Tell me that the night is long. Tell me that the moon is glowing. Fill my glass, I'll sing a song, and we'll start the music flowing. Never mind the rising light. There's no sign of day or dawning. In my heart is still the night, and we'll stay here till the morning.
We're skipping the intro and we're getting right into it. Ah! Ah! Okay, today we are actually going to fill out this beautiful little handy chart here, just so everybody knows where I stand on the most pressing issues of our time. Although I do think some of these are worded poorly, so we need to adjust them. And as we are going through this sheet, I want to talk about the Canadian Bill C-9 that is going to be passed through Congress pretty quickly. And I want all my non-Canadians, all my lovely American home dogs, to be made viscerally aware of how Britain, Canada, is going to become. Canada's in a very British time of its life right now. And that's a negative. That's a negative. Bill C-9 is... This isn't like fear-mongering. This is gonna be my life. If Bill C-9 passes the way it does, like sheets like this, me bringing this on broadcast, I might not legally be allowed to do anymore. And they will be able to look back through my internet history, backtrace, and legally fine, jail, punish, do whatever for up to a year of previous offenses. So, I'm kind of sitting here shitting myself, not because I've done anything that I genuinely think is legally heinous, but because the definitions of Bill C-9 are so vague, yet so specific. So at this point in time, the way it's set up such that if you make the wrong person angry, they will just say, oh, that inoffensive joke that wasn't actually aimed at somebody or was aimed at, a group that you are part of, I have decided it falls under hate speech, and so now you're going to be hit with an X amount fine and go to jail for a couple of months. It can apply retroactively only for about, a previous year. And it's also extending to online punishments. So I'm so excited to see the RCMP banging down my door for things that Sisyphus has said. Oh, I'm so excited for that. Anyway, so we're going to fill out this sheet because this might be one of the few opportunities left that I have to do it. Well, Canada already had some pretty strict hate speech laws. But they were not, digitally enforced.
Out of Canada fund.
At this point, I was already considering the idea of going to the States, mostly because I like the idea of being able to have a gun.
Need some help to open the Maid Cafe, boss.
Maid Cafe. Anyway, let's put the copyrighted music back on. You may be wondering, hey Midas, why are you putting on copyrighted music? Because you know that'll make it such that it nerfs you in the algo. You know that it'll make it so that chunks of your broadcast are unwatchable. That is the point. It won't do much, honestly. That's just my excuse to listen to music that I want to listen to. I know at the end of
Anti-Maid Fund.
Anti-Maid Fund. Typically people raise money to hire a maid. Vocaloid classics for old fans. Don't mind if I do. Anyone else remember Poppy Pop? Anyway, Armed Midas. Armored Core. The Armored Core of Midas. It's kind of crazy. Theoretically, my playthrough of Postal 2 could be punishable under the new Canadian law, under Bill C-9, if the right person saw it. Let's say Sylvie Spark, the editor, saw my playthrough of Postal 2, and he decided he somehow had government sway. I would be financially and socially raped for the rest of my existence. Anyway. You know, I don't like Sylvie Spark. I don't like him at all. He has been pleasant to me before, back when he was Ayumi's video editor, but he was fucking weird as hell when he was in her server doing editing work for her. Like, she'd be like, hey, can you do some clips? And he would exclusively only clip, like, sex-based stuff. And she was like, hey, this makes me uncomfortable. I must have other moments that are funny to clip, right? I'm paying you to edit and do something. He's like, oh, yeah, no, this was the only interesting part that people reacted to. And then he would, like, only clip sex parts and zoom in on our tits. Ever since then, I had it out for Sylvie Spark. It's only the cherry on the cake that he ended up actually being a heinous, like, social pariah of sorts, torturing disabled women. Oh, I thought Midas was from the US. Didn't know you were from Canada. This is a foreigner from Asia. Oh, welcome, Asian foreigner. What are we talking about? Sylvie Spark. Anyway, so let's go through my funny little list. Number 1, the moon landing was staged. Do I believe the moon landing was staged? Hold on, we gotta go for yellow because that's the cool color. Where's my square tool? Where's my square tool? Okay. Okay, so the moon landing was staged. Now, this one is the one that causes the most contention in my household because this is the one that me and my family members disagree on. However, as I've gotten older, I've started to slowly see things their way. Now, vehemently, I believe that the moon landing was real for a very long time. I would have, if this was like 7 or 8 years ago, I would have been hard denied. However, in the last couple of years, I have hit more of an unsure. And now I'm sitting in the probable. I don't think it's absolute. I still think there's plausible deniability that it could have happened. But this is my one gray area in the whole
Earth can't
list.
be flat. She has huge tracts of land.
That's some crazy work. So this is my one gray area. I used to be a moon truther, and now I'm a moon not sure, but probably not. Hello, I'm a little late. Welcome, Rob. All right. Now, aliens have visited Earth. I think aliens have absolutely visited Earth. Have they survived it? I don't know. Flat Earth, deny. Chemtrails are a thing. Provably so. Absolutely, chemtrails are a thing. Especially right now. I don't know if they were like a thing in the 60s and 70s, but they're definitely a thing now. Also, tell me if the music's too quiet or too loud. Now, fluoride is a thing being used to make people docile. Now, I remember the first time I heard this conspiracy. It was from my mother. Remember when I had her on broadcast? Yes. I heard this one from my mother, and I thought she was full of shit. Uh, but then I thought about it for like 10 minutes. And then I watched news stories come out over my lifetime slowly. And then you had the people in charge of the chemical treatment plants for the water in Canada straight up admitting it, saying, well, the fluoride is necessary for whatever. Only to, see the effects on fluoride absolutely torturing and damaging people. Oh, I absolutely believe it's being used to degrade the quality of people's cognitive ability. Mm. Weird looking Wednesday broadcast. I made a YouTube and a Twitter post about it. If you missed out on it, Contramalga, that's on you. I forgot this song existed. Okay. Vaccines cause more problems than they prevent. Now, this one is interesting because my family used to be very pro-vaccination my majority of my childhood. It's only very recent in our existence that we've started becoming less and less trusting of vaccines. I have all my childhood vaccinations, as do most of my siblings. I think all of them do, actually. However, a lot of the newer vaccinations have had adverse effects on people. And we are watching, ever since COVID, people we know all around us, young, healthy people, just dropping dead. Now, initially, the rest of my family didn't get the COVID vaccine because they didn't trust it and they wanted to wait it out. I didn't get it because I was in the middle of nowhere and I had nothing else to lose, and I just wanted to make my family happy. However, I will readily admit, and I'm glad that I didn't get it, but I will readily admit if I had to fly somewhere and they required me to take it at the time, I probably would have. Like, very genuinely. Like, if I had an opportunity, like the job opportunity I have now, and it required me to fly to different countries and I needed the vaccine, I probably would have taken the vaccines, which I am not proud to say right now, because now I entirely believe that the COVID vaccines were very damaging. So, what are my feelings on vaccines? I think, historically, the vaccines were very good, or at the very least, useful for what they were. And I think once we hit the 90s and early 2000s, the financial incentives and those who benefit most from damaging a population started sinking their claws into it. And by the time I reached young adulthood, the system was too corrupt to properly trust. Personally, I would still... Well, you see, can't trust the people who produce them anymore, but like the actual idea behind some of them are genuinely very helpful, useful. Vaccines historically have taken us through, civilization. The merit of them historically cannot be understated. They are important. But today's climate, I feel like, for me personally, to be able to trust the vaccination systems again, I'd want to see a reform of the medical system. So, 50 years ago, deny. Today, absolutely. JFK assassination was an inside job? Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, that's... Anybody who argues against that's an idiot. Alright. 9/11 was an inside job. Oh, 100%. Like, the Islamist extremists, the Muslims, they've had their issues, historically. But why would somebody blow their own dick clean off in front of the American military on American soil? It was absolutely all government, like, a government plant. It was a false flag. It was an excuse to invade another country and destroy a bunch of people and have an easy scapegoat. Watch out for false flags, by the way. If Americans say that drone strikes are happening in America and that it's Iran's fault, no. A bunch of American military drones have mysteriously gone missing the last 5 or so days. Keep an eye on that. Those are going to be the drones that caused the attack. 100%. They will blame it on the Iranians, and they will use that as an excuse. Don't fall for it. Don't die for someone else's war. All right? If the draft happens, Escape into the forests, escape into the woods, go to the Rocky Mountains. Genuinely. I am telling you to dodge the draft. I am telling you, draft dodge. Because this is the last day, probably, I have freedom of speech to do so. Bill C9. Alright. Anyway, 9/11 was an inside job.
They have already reversed engineered the Iran drones.
They've already reverse engineered the Iran drones, pretty much. The guy who owned the Twin Towers just bought the second largest tower in LA. Yeah, it's a bank, if I remember correctly. Anyway, so there have been some gun-related false flags. Yeah. Humans are causing major climate change. Now, this is probably my most current liberal point of view, but I have a very good excuse for this. Yes, humans are causing environmental change. Climate, not entirely sure, but environmental change, yes. But it's not the average layperson causing it. It is the people in charge of the massive corporations that pump us full of garbage and slop. Anybody that owns a fast food company, anybody that owns a production of sorts, any massive megacorpo factory, yeah? That is not my responsibility, and it is not your responsibility. We are the consumers, but at the same time, while we only consume what is put in front of us. We really don't have too much of a say. We can vote with our money, but that is not in the best interest of people who want to serve us the lowest quality crap possible. There are sustainable ways of doing things, but they purposely choose not to, and then they turn around and blame it on us and say, well, you consume product. No, that's the product you provide us. We don't have a choice.
The landing was staged. It's just they got Stanley Kubrick to do it, and perfectionist he was insisted it be filmed entirely on the moon.
Yeah, I've heard that one before, Steven. Anyway, so are humans, responsible for some environmental change, a little bit of climate adjustment? Yeah, but not you, not me. Nobody you know. It's the same people who are starting the wars. So they are, the enemy. Now, lizard people rule us. Even 1 year ago, I would have said no, absolutely not. After the last 6 months, my definition of lizard has been changing. I will say this. But, do the lizard people control us? I'm going to call them lizard people. I think that's going to be their new name. The lizard people are 100%. Yeah. Many celebrities and politicians are pedophiles. Yeah? Is the sky blue? Shut the fuck up. Jeffrey Epstein was murdered. Now, this one is interesting, and I propose we change the question to Jeffrey Epstein is alive. And my answer to that is yeah. I don't think he's chilling in Tel Aviv right now, though. A little bit too much of a hot spot over there. You hear Little St. James is getting bought. What? By the same guy who bought the Twin Towers and who also bought the big bank? Alright, many in power perform satanic rituals. Yes. Yeah. Now, this is like the same thing as like, well, Pizzagate and
Jeffy
well,
has been spotted in South Florida.
You see, that's the issue with AI, is that he probably could have been. And there's footage all over. But every single, like, quote-unquote fact checker says, oh, it's AI. But you can't tell. You genuinely can't tell. And the AI fact checkers false flag all the time because that's what they're trained to do. You can't genuinely tell these days with some of the video and some of the art. I think the only things that you can tell if they're AI generated are the music, because they leave digital signature footprints behind in the backing tracks. So is Jeffrey Epstein spotted in Florida? I can believe it. Will we ever get real confirmation? No, because that's by design. Now, do we count Bohemian Grove as satanic rituals? Yes. Now, people define satanic in many different ways. I am defining satanic as not Satanism, but anti-humanist ritualistic performance. Because there's many kinds of religions out there that practice sacrificing children, bloodletting, blood drinking, torture of the innocent, gaining wealth through trickery, and destroying the prospects of other people's futures just for the lulz. And different forms of deity worship, be it they consider it devils or they consider them their own higher power. So when I say many in power perform satanic rituals, I say that 1000%, but my definition of satanic ritual is anti-humanist religious practice. All right, let's see. Did I pass? Let's see. How did I do, guys? I think I'm cooked. No, I'm not cooked. I cooked. A- because of the moon landing? Okay. Might not want to show that to government. Well, you know what? Canadian government's already watching the stream broadcast. Hey, Mark Carney, you stupid cocksucker. I'm not going down without a fight. You hear me, Carney? Who trusts a Carney anyway? Never trust a carnival worker. Actually, that reminds me. My old bakery boss, shift leader, she ran away to join the circus. She was a carny for a while. Real sharp old battle axe. She was a piece of shit, too. How'd that go for her? Well, she became relatively unhinged, and she had a daughter who was, like, in her 30s who also worked at the bakery. I think I was, like, 17 at the time. And her 30-year-old daughter, she was, like, getting close to 400 pounds, and she was trying to sell me sex toys via her sex toy MLM, and I kept refusing. And she tried to recruit me into her polycule multiple times. A polycule that had, like, a 15, 16-year-old girl in it, and her near 40-year-old husband. The bakery was an interesting time. I said no, by the way. I'm not into the idea of polycules. If I ever link up with somebody, it would be because I need a partner in crime. Right? I don't work well on group projects. Like, I can do, like, an evil, gruesome twosome, right? I can Jesse and James it with a pet Meowth, but I'm not gonna have sex with Meowth. Yeah? No, like, no, that's vile. Like, the Polycule, instead of Meowth, they would have, like, a Vaporeon or something, and they would be all no, this just, no. Anyway, let me pull open Bill C. Okay, I'm going to read from thejustice.gc.ca. New hate crime offense. The bill would create a new hate crime offense that would apply to the commission of any office under the criminal code or any other act of parliament that is motivated by hatred based on race, national or ethnic origin, language, color, religion, sex, age, mental or physical disability, sexual orientation, or gender identity or expression. The new offense would have an increasing penalty structure that would provide for higher maximum penalties depending on the maximum punishment for the underlying offense. The specific offense that was motivated by hatred based on the relevant factors described above. Now, I want you to keep in mind, they keep what hatred is very vague. Okay? They're not specific about whether or not it extends to simple jokes or if it means active, violent, aggressive motions. This is rife for potential abuse. If prosecuted by way of summary conviction, the maximum punishment for the new hate crime offense would be 2 years less a day. If prosecuted by way of indictment, the maximum punishment would range up to 5 years, 10 years, 14 years, or life imprisonment. What does that mean? Yeah, you can go to jail.
Does this apply against hate for white people?
Oh, probably not. If prosecuted by way of... by letter of the law, it should. But Canada's never been an equal, fair society. It's all about who has the money at the moment and what they want to push. Now, I'm not gonna go, poor white people, my poor delicate snow rabbit creatures. But I will say that my entire life, the law has been applied unequally. And it's just getting more and more unbalanced as I get older. Now, you could be prosecuted for 2 years, or 5 years, or 10 years, or 14 years, or life. We're not going to tell you, why for each of these rungs, but just know that we can arbitrarily decide, what is severe enough for these. Because the new hate crime offense is punishable by imprisonment, it engages the right to liberty under Section 7 and must be consistent with the principles of fundamental justice. The minister has not identified any consistencies with the principles of fundamental justice. The proposed hate crime offense is tailored to its objective of combating crimes motivated by hatred. Okay, that's fair. If there's a crime motivated by hatred, sure. But that, implies that there's crime going on regardless of whether or not it's hatred motivated. Yes? However, hate crime implies... Let's continue. The increasing penalty structure for the new hate crime offense is also tailored to the seriousness of the underlying offense. It would not impact the discretion of sentencing judges to impose a sentence that is proportionate to the gravity of the offense and the degree of responsibility of the offender. That's a whole lot of nothing slop, and you know it. The new hate propaganda offense. The bill would create a new offense of willfully promoting hatred against identifiable groups by displaying in a public place certain hate symbols. The symbols are defined as symbols that are principally used by or associated...
Attention, Canadian government, you are lame and gay, and should feel bad.
Stop it! I'm gonna go to jail if you say that! Associated with the listed terrorist entity, as defined in subsection 83.011 of the Criminal Code. So basically, if you display, Lee Epic edgy Nazi symbolism, okay, yeah, fair enough. That has long been, defined as the standard of a hate symbol. Understandable. That's always been punishable, actually. Very genuinely, by law, been punishable. Whether or not they enforce it is another thing. However, this is extending to just symbols in general. And the actual list of symbols, you know, is vague. And entirely is more or less along the lines of, if it belongs to an organized group, and we decide that the group is hateful, as the government. Now, part of the issue with Bill C-9 is that it theoretically protects religious groups, but at the same time, it also punishes religious groups. And religious symbology is also affected. Now, under this Bill C-9, quoting scripture, it doesn't matter what, like, holy tome you're using. If you're quoting the Quran, you're quoting the Bible, you're quoting the Torah. Now, who knows if these will all be, like, actually enforced. Will be considered as hate speech. And it is not protected by freedom of religion. It's one of those things where you have to practice it quietly. You're not allowed to bring up scripture in arguments or discussions in public now. Unless you are in, specifically, only a religious space. Now, I can see the light-handed logic behind it. Because, like, well, if you're quoting the anti-homosexual part of the Bible to a homosexual to make him feel bad, maybe he'll kill himself, and that's hate speech crime, because you drove a guy to suicide. That's kind of the angle they're going for here. But I don't think I need to actually say why that is such a naive and loose way to interpret this. An identifiable group is defined in subsection 3184 of the Criminal Code as a group distinguished by color, race, religion, national or ethnic origin, age, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, or mental or physical disability. Now, that's interesting, because this means that under this, any identifiable group can have a hate symbol. It just entirely depends on if the government decides it's a hate symbol, not the people themselves. Anyway, this goes on for a long time, and I've kind of said everything I want to say, but I would like you guys to look up Bill C-9. Look up more about it, because it's very fascinating. And it's... yeah.
Canadians won't understand real Asian racism that I feel to a person who looks identical to me whilst in the USA. Yeehaw, I love being a yellow cowboy.
Space Soldier Man, I'm not calling you a good boy. I don't even know you! You're not getting that shit for free! I'm here just to look, because I think Midas is cool, but ain't no time at the moment. Yeah, it's all good, Tama. Yeah, you're a bad boy. Space, you're a bad boy. But you know what? That's okay. We're all bad here. We're about to become Canadian illegal. You can barely hear the super chats? Okay, I'll turn down Vocaloid. And I'll crank up output. This should make the music the same volume as it was before, but now super should be louder. Yeah. Well, no, I had to turn down Miku so that I could turn up Miku. You milked my friend Epoch. You must die. Come get me, bozo! Anyway. I invite everybody here to take a screenshot of this this list of non-conspiracies and to fill out your own. I'm interested to see where how if you get a better score than me. Just there we go. Basically the same as yours to BH Lamau. Now, Midas, why didn't you broadcast on Wednesday? I think Agartha should replace Flat Earth because Agartha's real. Facts, no printer. Some of these I have no idea about. Well, that's the fun of it, Necro. Develop some ideas. Come up with some thoughts, you know. I personally believe in Pizzagate 100%, and I did before. So I feel a little bit vindicated. Hardcore meta, that's crazy. Wait, it's not Wednesday. Unsure all the way down. It's turtles all the way down. Now, I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, Wednesday. Temporarily, we're not doing Wednesdays because I am overloading with everything that I'm doing at all times, and my lack of sleep is really starting to catch up on me, as is all of the micro responsibilities I have to catch up on. So Wednesdays now I have to not stream, not broadcast. And instead, I will be doing it on Fridays. Mm-hmm. Now, this just means my Fridays are going to be extra long, but that's okay. No, I'm not joking. I had like 2 hours of sleep last night. And I'm like, I can risk it. I can risk my 2-hour nap. Nah, I caused myself issues this morning because of it. I either need to push through and do my sleepless night, or I need to have full sleeps. So I'm hoping to fix myself there. Yeah, so you can expect things to be consistently on Friday for at least the rest of March. I see you hate us. Yes, you specifically, Ashkayadl. Big news for the employed. Yes. Will the live stream be recorded and posted to YouTube? I won't be able to see all the stream. Space Soldierman, I am multi-streaming to YouTube at the same time. So the VOD will automatically be on YouTube. Actually, YouTube is my main platform. I'm a YouTube supremacist, you see. Hello to all my little turbulent, my turbulent tubers. Anyway, I think I promised you guys a sneak peek of, please count down from 5. I think I'll kill you, actually. Chat is moving very fast. It's moving faster than Miku. Hold on. Can't work properly unless I sleep successfully. Okay, now chat's caught up. I lost my train of thought. Fuck you guys. Okay, this is what happens when you don't sleep! You lose all your energy, you lose all your ability to think. How come YouTube doesn't have monthly member milestone chats? I haven't figured out how to have a member-exclusive YouTube chat area yet. Like, genuinely, somebody said you could do that, and I haven't figured it out. But I'm having a hard enough time trying to upkeep doing member stuff at my place of work. I think I would die if I was doing active member stuff on both ends. It's one of those things I have to figure out in the future. At this point, if you're getting members, it's it's a support thing, which I very much appreciate. Thank you, Justin Curry. I don't know. I mean, is there a reward that you guys would like for a members goal? Oh, excuse me. Not the monthly. We need more dudes. That's some crazy work. Guys, I'm feeling loopy. I saw the clip of you shit-talking Mark Carney. Can you do one for Dougie, too? What clip? I'm still live. Can we have more emotes from members? You know what, Necro? You know what? Yes, actually. That's actually more than reasonable. You guys are long overdue for some emotes and for some little symbology. Artemis Fowl, watch along. We already did that! Kill yourself! Anyway, what did you mean by that, EB?
For members?
Wait, EB? It's your fault FaZe is in the States! Hey, Clippers, can we kill this guy? EB is in here. EB is in here. Hey, Necro! Get off your lazy ass! Be useful for once and kill this man! You are spared from the chipper if you kill EB, okay? How could you? You know how upset I am that FaZeCon isn't in Canada? If FaZeCon was in Canada, I could go! But it's not, so I can't! And I really want to, it's not fair!
Grushed clips you while you are live, lol.
Trigger point. Trigger point. You sicked EB on me? Why would you do that?
A great prophet said, the world's flat, carried by 4 great elephants, in turn carried by Atum the turtle. No idea where it's swimming, go with the flow. Also sleep more, damn it, we want you ranting well into the future.
EB could be here, she thought. No, I saw EB in chat! You gotta say in Minecraft, no, don't take her away, she's joking. Don't take your meds, chat, or I'll disappear. Where's EP? I can't see him. He was, if you scroll up a bit, he made one message in the YouTube chat. His phase is Vancouver-based. Yeah, no, it is common knowledge that I am in British Columbia. Canada is very big, and every one of our provinces is the size of like 4 countries smushed together. So I don't feel fear in saying I'm from British Columbia. I'm from the land of stoners and escaped drug dealers. So you can imagine when you can imagine it made me even angrier because it's like, if FaZeCon was in Vancouver, that would be so fucking easy for me! Anyway. Yep, there's only 2 cities you can be from in BC. Brother! I live in the middle of nowhere. Like, you can't actually find me. I'm not on any maps. If I lived in a city, I wouldn't be a VTuber. I'd have a job. Well, a different job. I'd have a social life. I'd be skinny. Man, can you imagine living near a movie theater? Movie theaters were like once every few years type deal for me because we had to drive out a couple hours to go to one. My time for summoning EB, my bad. Trigger point, you know what? I forgive you. I accept this apology. So you're a full-time VTuber. Yes. Midas, did your land get handed over to the Indians too? LMFAO.
Speaking of lizard people,
God.
anthropomorphic lizard Midas when?
You are not getting an anthro lizard, Midas. What is this? Probably because of the Bill C9 that PCs in the US. No, I'd say FaZe Connect probably is holding their con in the States because they got a better deal at a venue and there's a higher population density and concentration of FaZe Connect fans. Like, I can see the logic as to why they picked the venue they did. I'm just bitter about it, and I'm gonna die bitter about it. Midas, my friend wants to start streaming. Any tips? As a hobby, you can do whatever. If you want to do it professionally, don't even consider doing it professionally until you've done it as a hobby long enough to know that you enjoy doing it. And then note that when you want to try doing it professionally, that what you may like doing may not be what people like watching you do. Like, very genuine. Hold on, let me hide my conspiracy list. Very genuine. You guys want a piece of streamer advice, a bit of broadcasting advice from me. I was a VTuber for a long time before Midas kicked off. And I did it hobbyist. I did it while I was in university. I did it in the spare moments I had. I was pretty consistent. Hell, for the first year, I was daily every morning while I was working at the bakery. Like, it was kind of crazy. However, I enjoyed what I was doing. I was playing a lot of Genshin for a while, and then I would play a lot of detective puzzle games. I wasn't very loud, and I wasn't very opinionated, but I was cozy, comfortable, and having a good time with some of my friends. Like, they were all online, but, you know. And I did a lot of drawing streams. I just did what would personally entertain myself, and that is fine. But what I failed to realize is that for the people that wanted to watch me, that was not appealing. And so people would pop in, they'd get bored, and they'd leave.
Here's a tip. Actually start streaming instead of posting on Twitter all day. Don't be a filthy tweeter.
Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, okay, whatever. We know that. So, the moment that I started being hyper opinionated, I was angry and whatnot. People came, and that's when I realized, oh, I may not be very comfortable with talking. I'm actually, if you meet me in real life, I am very socially withdrawn. I'm pretty quiet. I'm very scared of people, actually. I'm scared of hurting people's feelings. I don't like getting in trouble. However, I didn't realize I had a skill for audience interaction the way that I do until I tried it, right? And once you find what resonates with people, maybe it's audience interaction, maybe for you it is gaming. Some people it's FPS, some people it is artwork. For me it wasn't, even though I love doing artwork. People didn't stick around for that. That is when you can start thinking about doing it properly professionally. But until you realize where the happy medium between what you're good at and what people want to see from you specifically happens to be, chasing doing it as a career is a fool's errand, and you will only hurt yourself and waste a lot of time and money. Oh, I like this song. I haven't heard Lost Ones Weeping in a while. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, but that's my advice to new VTubers that want to start VTubing. Do it. Do it. And if you're good at it, it doesn't matter what your assets are. It doesn't matter if you have the most expensive thing in the world. If you're interesting, and at first it'll start slow, people will trickle in, but if you retain them, because you're good at what you do, you can always upgrade your visuals later. If you can't do it with a Vroid, or you can't do it with a pre-made, or you can't do it with a customizable, then you won't be able to do it with an expensive model. Straight up. Like, people tend to think that it's pay to play, and it was a little bit early on in the VTuber space because VTubing was still a novelty and very inaccessible for people. But nowadays, now more so than ever, people are fatigued. Everybody has a gorgeous model, but not everybody can maintain attention. What is your advice
for new tweeters that want to start tweeting?
Well, you get the length of a barrel of an explosive device with a trigger at the end of it, and you put it in your mouth, and then you pull it while on camera. That's my advice for anybody that wants to be a professional VTweeter. Or if you're binted, you could point it at your dick and shoot it off. Yeah, that's the VTweeter playbook. Don't waste so much of your life on Twitter, guys. If you're not making content, you're not a content creator. You're a role player. And you know what? Controversial opinion. I actually think that it's fine that there's people in the VTuber space that are LARPers. Like, that are role-playing, that are VTweeting, that are doing whatever. It's when they pretend that they're more than what they are that we have a problem. Like, I'm a professional VTuber. A few times over at this point. But you know what I also am? I'm also a LARPer. I also have, like, you know, characters that I have accounts for that I have made no content with. I use them to develop the character. And then I do have little semi-active fun VTubers. And then I have things I'm building, you know, just... People are creative by nature, and they like to develop things. Hello, Midas. I'm a huge fan of your work. Ah, we got an ass kisser. Thank you.
Emulate my favorite singer, Kurt Cobain. Got it.
That's some crazy word. Kurt Cobain didn't kill himself. No, Kurt Cobain didn't kill himself. Genuinely, he was murdered. He was murdered by his wife. Thoughts on Clipper channels? Okay, so there's a meme in my community where I go, fuck Clippers. I hate Clippers. Meh, 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 meh. But if I could be 100% genuine right now, because there is some actual hatred sentiment towards Clippers in the VTuber space that I've never understood. I want to get the record straight. I think that they're a very vital part of the ecosystem, and I think that they are undervalued and underappreciated. Very often, like, careers make and break based off of Clippers, and some people tend to forget that. You can do so much on your own, but, you know, having a Clipper promote you on their channel, or hell, hiring a Clipper to help you edit clips for your own channel is, like, life-saving. It's time-saving, especially when you're doing so much all the time. And if you can't appreciate the value of that, then you really don't deserve to have them in your space. Like, there's some entitlement. There's some entitlement in the space. Where it's like, smaller VTubers feel like they deserve to be clipped and have their big break, and big VTubers are angry because Clippers have taken moments and put it on their channel for profit. And it's like, my brother in Christ, you couldn't pay for advertising that good. Like, maybe you want to post an identical clip on your channel, and you're afraid it won't get traction. Trust me, you're the original. People will watch it. Like, even if they saw it on a Clipper. Like, the only time I think there should ever be contention between... Contention? Is it tension or contention? Anytime there should be tensions between VTubers and Clippers should be if, like, a clipping channel clips a moment from a stream and then a VTuber posts the same clip or a similar clip and the clipping channel tries to copyright claim that clip. Because, I mean, there have been instances in the past where YouTube channels do that, where they re-upload content and then they try and take down the original uploader because the original uploader made their version a little later. That is the only legitimate grievance I could ever see in the VTuber space in regards to Clipper channels. But I haven't even seen an instance of that yet. Like, that would be an argument if I'd seen it. What about out-of-context clipping? That'll always happen. Like, I've had people clip me out of context. I say some heinous things. I've had people bash words of mine together to make me say even worse things. But you know what? The responsibility of the streamer, of the entertainer, of the broadcaster, is to be able to take that on the chin. Just like every other performer in history. You know, before YouTube clippers and wide internet accessibility, you had late-night talk show hosts taking chunks out of interviews, or street passerby conversations with celebrities and mocking them, or secret rumors or secrets from these celebrities and mocking them on daytime television in front of large audiences. This type of pedestal entertainment has always existed. What separates the men from the boys in this industry is how much grace you can take it with. And if it reaches the level of true defamation, figuring out with grace and maturity how to move forward without tanking your own career and torturing the people around you.
I wouldn't have gotten into Phase Connect through Tenma, or Kiesha through Pippa, or gotten back into VTubing in general.
Exactly, Red Heracross. Like, clippers are so valuable. Like, with fame comes mockery, exactly. Now, I like to have fun with my clippers. When I see clippers in my community, I like to have a little bit of fun with them. I like to poke them.
What do you think of those VTubers who cry that they get clipped in ways out of context?
Oh, they're stupid. They're stupid and they're drama hungry. Oh, is there a raid that came in? I found Pippo through recommended clips. You know, quick, clip that out of context.
So wise, bro. Much love.
Who have I found through clips? Let me check. I just want to make sure I didn't miss a raid. I gotta scroll back through creator dashboard. Oh, it was Yu. Welcome on in, Yu. Let's see. Rayma, thank you for 500 bits. Very kind. Hand slipped. Keep your rocks to yourself. Sil, you raided a half hour ago and you didn't even leave a message. I'm gonna kill you. I love you, Sylvies. It was a water bottle short for me. Lol, lol, lol. Fair enough. Pretty. Oh, Sil. Good night. I'm just not feeling that stream. Sorry. Hey, sleep well. Eyes nom. I'm about to move on to, Actually, no, we'll just keep talking. I don't think I even need to, Do you 3D print? I have, a resin printer that Chad actually got me as a present. I've set it up and I've done a test. Now I just need to figure out how to make, very legal prop projectiles. I originally found you through the time to jack off your politician clip. Winter, yeah. Very legal. Oh, yeah, indubitably, because it's a prop. Hi, Midas dears. How doth fare thee on this night? Oh, I fare doth. Do you still have the crossbow? I broke all of the darts, the bolts. The thing is that the crossbow and the bolts, they bought like a separate second load of bolts to go with it, but they bought bolts for a different kind of crossbow. So I used all of mine for the 50,000 sub special, and now I need to buy new replacements because they all hit rocks and bounced off and bent. Of all things, I found you that one time when you ordered a coffee and a dinosaur costume. Oh yeah, that was that was the 50K special. Found you through a clip of getting drunk on stream. Oh, not the neuro one! Oh! Speaking of neuro. Ah, hell, why not? So, I've been doing an experiment. So, it was one of the water bottle story for me. It's one of the most insane stories and still remains my favorite. I'm glad that it brings a sense of something to you. Oh god, I need to watch the drunk stream. No, you do not. Where is this it? Hold on, I'm just gonna hide this for a second. It is! Okay. So, I've been drawing and rigging in Live 2D recently, and I've been trying to go with a more traditionally JP style. And for my work, I've been testing it, but also for personal stuff, I've been testing it. 1 second while I slip into something. Now, these don't have bodies, but I have been experimenting with some technology. Now, I'm developing my own set of twins. Remember earlier how I said I like to LARP? And I like to do all sorts of things? Now, I have my job. I have Midas. But then I have these two and 2 more VTubers. Now, these 2 aren't ready yet, but I'm developing technology to, while live, be 2 characters at once at the same time and have active responses. So basically, I would be my own twin. I just need to design the outfit for these 2 and come up with like a character voice. I was thinking they'd be like, they'd be from Saturn. What do you think? You have 2 sisters for that, you know. No, the appeal is that I'm trying to push the boundaries of what's possible. I want to be able to, like, actually play twins, if that makes sense. Like, actively. You know how fucking insane that would be? The amount of kayfabe, but also the amount of neuroticism and just... No, I think I can do it. Like, I genuinely think I can pull it off. I don't have it set up at the moment, but I do have 2 different methods of tracking. So, like when I have the two different methods set up, the models actually move a lot differently. Like the soft one moves very sweet. Should get a voice doubler? No. Like that's the thing. I would be voice acting both at the same time, in real time, with 2 different tracking setups that are reactionary to the 2 different ways I do things without AI. Like, I have a method I'm cooking. But, like, this is why I love VTubing. It allows for creativity. It allows for me to draw stuff. It allows for me to play with rigging. It is freedom.
Have you studied Fuwa Moko's twin speak?
Not in, like, a scientific kind of way. I like watching them casually, and I like the idea of twin VTubers. But that's the thing. They're all real twins. They all have 2 people playing them. If I can convincingly be 2 people at the same time, I think I win. Now, these don't have bodies yet. These are just disembodied heads. So this is the last channel I'll be making. So I'm running a couple characters at the moment. I'm running and then this would be the 4th channel, but
so
the 4th
literally
and 5th character.
schizophrenia simulator.
Yeah, I told you guys that I was developing something schizophrenic, but you guys didn't believe me. Like, I am doing so much all the time. 21st century puppeteering is gonna be insane. I heard Fuomoko is actually two friends who roleplay as twins. Lucid Dwarf, they are IRL model, like, idols. Like, before they became Fuomoko, they were well known in the IRL idol scene. They are real-life twins, like, physically. It's like one Google search away. They're still active, and they post selfies all the time, doing their active idol work. Like, I don't know, I don't know where you heard that, but that's not right. That's not real. Alright, time to go back to Midas. Now, here's the thing about the twins here that I'm developing. They don't have names yet. I still want to give them, like, their costumes. I think that they're going to be, like, elves from Saturn or something. Saturn elves. But I don't have a story set. I don't have the outfit set. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of them being headless and in jars. That'd be kind of funny. Just floating heads. Oh, I can animate them floating in liquid jar. Hold on. Wait. Anyway. Anyway. But yeah, it was also partially like a style experiment, 'cause it's like I'm seeing so much, like, there are some very specific things that JP style VTubers have in common when it comes to their stylistic choices. I have my baseline style, and I've done live 2D models for people before in my style. Hell, I designed my 3D model, right? But my style sits outside of that specific niche. So, me designing the twins and also making some assets for work, it was a practice in trying to nail down that JP style. I'm self-made. Kinda, yeah. This model, no. Honestly, this model, while some people like it and some people don't, I consider it to be the peak of my career, very genuinely, because I got to work with an artist that I admire, and I didn't have to draw it, and I didn't have to rig it, so that makes it the best model out of all of them.
Midas, as awesome as this whole project sounds, I am concerned that you could develop some sort of multiple personality
If that was
disorder.
a danger, then I wouldn't have survived Tumblr. Let's be so real. I had so many roleplay accounts on Tumblr back in the day. Like, I was so into Persona 5 when it first dropped, before Royale. When Royale dropped, I dropped Persona, I'm gonna be so honest. But I had, like, multiple Persona 5 roleplay accounts. I had a bunch of... No, I didn't have the Dangan roleplay accounts. That was... No, what was it? It was Tokyo Ghoul accounts. I had a bunch of Tokyo Ghoul roleplay accounts. I was a busy little beaver. That is why VTubing comes pretty sharp for me. I love VTubing, and honestly, this was just the natural progression for me. I can get away with making characters because of it. Persona 6 when? I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Green Persona when? Fan troll? No, I didn't have a fan troll. I did have a fan human for Homestuck, though. Though typically when I roleplayed Homestuck, in general, when I did RP, I would take a canon character and I would do like an AU. I'd take a side character like Hideyoshi Nagachika from Tokyo Ghoul and I would LARP him as a ghoul, right? Or I would take Akechi Goro and I would roleplay him as the main character instead of the antagonist, right? Just all that kind of stuff. I like doing canon character adjacent roleplays. But that's long behind me now. Now I just LARP as my own characters because that's the best thing about VTubing. And you know what? That's why I really like kayfabe VTubing. Very much so. YouTube, you better give her all the love and support as well. You, thank you so much. No, I love heavy kayfabe VTubers. It's the same vibe, you know? That's why seeing the death of kayfabe a little bit is very sad to me. Which is rich coming from Midas, right? Because Midas is not very kayfabe, but you see my kayfabe come out in other places, and you know what? I think when everything is revealed in a couple of months with the other characters, you are going to be very surprised and fascinated by how into kayfabe I can get. Mm-hmm. No, I love storytelling. Bit of a lost art in VTubing. I will single-handedly bring the second rise and fall of VTubing. I, myself, will damage the VTuber economy. I am responsible for the boom of 2020. I was every single VTweeter at the same time. This is my confession. This is my perfect victory. That's right. I win. Long-term storytelling. Facts. Will we still have Midas, or will she be retired? Why would I retire Midas? Like, straight up. The only time I would retire... I found the short about you talking about art school and drawing... I don't remember that one. I was gonna say something and I forgot. No, the only time Midas would retire is if I legally needed to. Like, genuinely, if my job said, hey, Midas, we're rediscussing the contract and you need to graduate Midas,
Speaking
then I
of
would.
Persona 5, reminder that Sadeo Kawakami is best girl.
Kawakami is slept on. Or slept with, I don't remember. Right? But yes, I would only graduate Midas if my job said I had to. But thankfully, my job is very kind and fascinating with their operations, and they allow and encourage me to continue on with my current activities, and they're allowing me to do other things as so long as my job doesn't suffer. So, really, the only time I see Midas graduating is if I stop VTubing altogether. No, those other side characters that I'm building right now, those ones are not serious characters. They're just LARP roleplay fun things to practice technology and to build some story. Those ones would be, they would be fridged once I'm done with them. No, I think... another scenario would be if I had a once in a hold on. If for some odd reason I was able to wrangle an industry exclusive contract, one that's never been seen before, that allows me to work for 2 companies, then Midas would graduate. Or maybe Midas would join that company, right? But that will never happen, because the reason why companies want exclusivity typically, or at the very least don't look kindly upon double dipping in different companies, is because they want to be able to monopolize your time for projects, and they don't want you to be feeding secrets to competitors. Now, you know, sometimes there's trust between companies, so they don't necessarily fear you leaking secrets, but think about it, just from a practical standpoint. Being a full-time VTuber is a lot of work. I am fucking stupid and insane, and I somehow do a lot of it all the time. I am 2 full-time VTubers, and I have bonus ones on the side. And it does take a physical toll, I will say. But a normal person who does company work for one company is usually incapable of doing the same workload for a second company. And so one has to give over the other. So one would have to take priority eventually. And so a contract would suffer, or the second company would have to sign with reduced expectations, and most places don't want to do that. So typically, if a second VTuber company wanted to hire a current corporate VTuber, there would not be a discussion of, oh, well, you know, you can do wheel, do that, this, that, the other thing. It would be probably along the lines of, would you be willing to leave your first place and give us all of your attention instead? I don't know. I think if a second company wanted to pick up Midas or do something with me, so long as they don't make me give up what I'm currently working on, I would be probably, not to like suck myself off here, but I'm probably one of the few people in the industry that could do it. Though it would mean that I wouldn't get to do any more hobbyist side stuff, which is like, a little sad. But I wouldn't be wasting time applying to places. I'm very busy. Sleeping stream went. Nobody would watch a sleeping broadcast. What are you? Didn't even know you had a second thing until semi-recently. Lol. Well, Snail Pirate, that sounds like a skill issue to me. Would you join VLore Invaders? VLore. I don't think VLore likes me. I know one of their people like me. One of their people are very cordial to me. But I think as a company, the NSFW companies don't like me as a person. I have reason to believe that all of the English NSFW companies do not like me. I have heard things. And it's very sad because I've never actually been outright, you know, aggressive towards them. But I've had some hot takes that they've decided were a direct affront to their existence. Like, I've jokingly said, I hate whores, right? I didn't realize that, but that puts you on some permanent shit lists with the NSFW companies. It's a little distressing, honestly. And, you know, sometimes I've said actually some very pro-sex work things that were misinterpreted as anti-sex work, which is like the most irritating thing I will say. And I remember there was some real issues that came up with that. I really can't get into it. But even as a joke, like, I don't think it would ever be possible for me to even collaborate with anyone in VLore. Why the fuck would you be in an NSFW company? Right, Omega? Yeah, I do have some, like, good relationships with people in the NSFW space. Hell, Pixie's in, like... Pixie is one of the syndicate, okay? And she's not very safe for work. I say what I say and I do what I do, but, like, at the end of the day, it really is what it is. People will make the decisions they do. Fix it by saying I'll have whores once per stream for the next few months. No, because then I'll get the lesbians in my chat, and I can't handle them. They're scary. Thoughts on your Prime Minister dating Katy Perry? He's the ex-Prime Minister, and Katy Perry was a mid-musician. It's absolutely a bid to try and keep both of them relevant and in the news cycle and get people not talking about the atrocities that are occurring within the country. No. Lesbians attack! Yes, Auntie Haunty. I feel like it's always been a joke. You've always been very nice to me, and I think most NSFW creators would pale compared to my history. Yeah, you know, it's just, it is what it is. Some people don't want to take that chance. Rebecca Black is somehow a better artist than Katy Perry. That girl is washed as fuck. Have you ever heard the song Do You by Rebecca Black? Like, I was shocked. But at the same time, Not really, I guess, because Friday came out when she was literally a toddler. So of course it's gonna be ass if you don't have, like, singing training. But with singing training, Rebecca Black is a very competent singer. My coworker's husband worked with Trudeau. He was our Liberal MP. And I'd be listening to Pierre rallies right behind her Lamel. That's some crazy work, AB. You're Canadian? I didn't even know that. I'd be so curious to see Midas's viewers by gender demographic. Oh, I can tell you right now, Haunty, by percentage, when I last checked, it was like 96% male. And then, like, 4%
well, maybe you'll have
gender not
Aisha's
defined.
problem and get mistaken for a lay because of your voice.
I don't know what I get mistaken for. Historically, playing live service games, sitting in the voice chat with my mic, with like any headset, micro headset, I do get the "you're a 12-year-old boy" accusation. I don't get a "there's a woman in the game, oh my god, guys." I always get, "what's this squeaker doing on call?" And every time it is very funny to me. And you know what? It stops them from like sex pesting me, although I always get a little bit disappointed because everybody always bitches about being catcalled or being sex pested in real life or in video games, and I've never had that. Like, genuinely, the only time I've ever been quote-unquote catcalled or sex pested in real life was when I was like 14, 15, and it was because I was walking beside a French exchange student, and she was gorgeous. And we were just kind of talking with each other because we had an assignment together, and a guy drove by and he saw her, not me, and he was catcalling her. So it wasn't even a catcall at me, it was a catcall at her, but I just happened to be there in the vicinity. And then she started screaming at him, "I don't know English," in perfect English, and then we both ran away. Hey, babe, nice broadcast. Oh my god, thanks. Thanks. Anyway, so my experience in the equivalent of COD lobbies is, what's the fucking squeaker doing on the line? "Hey kid, you better not bring our game down." "Don't worry guys, I got this." And then I tank the game. "Oh, whatever guys, it's just a kid, don't be hard on him." You know, maybe I've always been born to LARP. Playing video games, I'm like a 12-year-old boy. On Tumblr, I am any anime character ever, and in the VTuber space, I am like 5 different women. You know, a lesser being would claim I have multiple personality disorder, but I interject and say, no, I'm a born and bred actor. I was born for the stage. Now, I'm too scared of people and not attractive enough to be on the stage.
Don't
But
worry, I believe you'll get your cat call one day.
Hell yes, Izzy, thank you. I lost my train of thought, but I was born for the stage! Are you sure you aren't a VA? I've never been a voice actor, no. Though I did apply for that Alice in Wonderland video game. So I could have my first voice acting role, although I doubt it. You were a theater kid? No. I hated theater kids. Unironically, your Midas voice reminds me of my girlfriend's voice. It's deeper and kind of husky and has a lot of personality to it. I like hers and I like hers. That's very sweet of you, no normies. That is very sweet of you. Can we get 3 big booms in the YouTube chat for no normies? So you're telling me I could skip a Midas broadcast and accidentally watch a Midas PsyOp VTuber? Yeah. I think I mentioned it last broadcast, but like one of the characters is exclusively in Japanese. Y'all will never find it. I'm sorry. The only ones that you are privy to are the twins. The other ones I'm not revealing until they hit over a certain threshold. And when I reveal them is when I shut them down. Like, very genuinely. Unless I want to do a bit. But I may do a bit. It depends on how busy I am. Because remember, this is done in like, hey, I have 10 spare minutes. Instead of taking a break and going for a walk, I'm gonna play with my other character.
Just don't shove it down everyone's throats.
Red hair cross, stop being funnier than everyone in the room. Ain't no way you're LARPing in Japanese, bro. Yeah. Hold on. 日本につ面白いこと気づいたわ。みんなごめんとかすみなすにぱいわ。カナダもそりいっぱいわ。もしかしてカナダ人の人と日本人同じ種類は？お箸の練習してるわ。でも食べ物落ちるわ。日本の人お米一粒つかめるわ。これレベル10でアンロックするスキルは？ Good luck! You'll never find it! なるほど。なるほど。なるほど。Yeah, you'll never find it. And you know what? If you do find it, you've earned it, okay? Midas is Picora. Please.
Just tell me the Japanese one is no theater style.
No.
Hey there pretty. You got a skirt. I do not know how to catcall.
Damn shit, bro, you're right. Recognizable by pitch accent mistakes. Oh yeah, no, like, the number one comment I've had on the Japanese side of things is that everybody's going, oh my god, your accent is so cute. You're really trying. It's like, shut up, I get it, it's bad. Do you have that thing with the auto sub and auto translation for your Japanese character? I ain't giving away my secrets. Nice. Well, thanks. I grew it myself. Psst, psst, psst. There you go. You got a cat call. The equivalent of Nihongo Jozu. Trying to do what? I thought you sounded pretty natural. No. My inflections are totally off, and sometimes, like, I have to pre-script a bunch of things to be able to whoa, Pixel Rat, chill. Ow. If I found you out, Midas, I knew you were a hit VTuber, Hosho Marine Live Fantasy Gen 3. Tell anyone who plans on going to Japan to get good enough at karaoke. Best way to mingle with the locals. Oh, fair enough. No, there's, I don't know. The main reason why one of them is Japanese is quite genuinely I'm using it to teach myself Japanese. I don't know enough yet for it to be good. I am very slowly picking up on stuff. This is kind of like my practice for Japanese, so every single character has an excuse. Every character that I use has an excuse. Midas is just like my homestar runner. It's my conversationalist. It's we go through the terrors and tribulations of Canada. The Japanese one I'm using genuinely as language practice, kind of like how some people have Duolingo. That VTuber is explicitly just to practice using Japanese. The twins are my technological practice. And the last one, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you because you'll find it. I can't tell you. But they're all very different. Yeah. I don't know. Part of the reason I want to learn Japanese is I don't know. I'm kind of inspired by the PewDiePie learning how to draw in 60 days type shit. Hell, he even moved to Japan. If you can pick up a skill after 30, as difficult as language, as difficult as art, like all that kind of, if he can do it, I can do it. And I don't know, Canada's kind of scary.
Damn girl, anyone ever tell you about your great big personality? Give us a shake now.
Is that good enough? I will say though, if my job necessitates it, any and all of these projects die in an instant. Because I do have priorities. And at the end of the day, I'm very proud of the job I'm doing and all the effort being put into it. Actually, some of the technological practice is for future projects for the job as well. Like, none of these things are without purpose, you know? Haven't been around these streams for a while. Well, there's a broadcast, not a valid name, but thank you for swinging on by. Do the thug shaker. What's the thug shaker? Is it... The thug shaker is when I have been beat to a pulp in the basement by somebody and the thug is shaking me and all of my coins are falling out of my bags. This is the thug shaker because I'm being picked up in the air and horizontally rattled. Ooh, my loonies and tooties. Oh, no.
Her last one is 4.
No. Here's the thing. I'm not a sexual person by nature. Like, jokes here and there, whatever, maybe like everybody, but even then, I'm very minimal with my sexual jokes and innuendos and even presentation, because that's just not something that I'm super into. Yes? You wouldn't catch me dead being a sex tuber. It's just not appealing. It's not something that I'd even think I'd be good at. No. Why is there dynamite on the thing? I don't know. Ask the person on booth I bought this from. Midas is ace confirmed. I don't think I'm ace. I'm not asexual. I'm just very low libido. And I also just, it's just not like a socially interesting thing for me. Right? Like a lot of people, it's like a content thing or it's a joke thing. It's just like a topic of interest. I have so many other things I care about. That's just not one of them. I feel like if the right thing, like the right circumstance happened, I'd be very invested in that kind of thing. But at this point in my life, I'm in a very Japanese time of my life right now, you see. Core of line, that's some crazy shit. Like pregnant limbless Kaya. Yeah, no, like it has to be like very specific. And even then, like you don't see me like right? You're living up to the Japanese birth rate at least. Okay, Tipsy gets the joke. Tipsy gets the joke. Yeah. Too many people make it their whole identity. Like, again, it is entirely dictated by each individual person. Like, again, people keep saying Marine earlier. Hosho Marine is an excellent example of a VTuber whose whole personality is very sexual. Though there's a lot more to her than her sexuality. Like, I don't know, I feel like she tries really hard to be sexual, and because of that, her audience is very against her being sexual. Like, they're combative against it, which is really funny, because usually it's the other way around. The VTuber is sexual and the audience is super receptive. Like, there's people that sexualize Marine because she's sexy, right? But whenever she talks about sex stuff, whenever you watch one of her streams and she's just like, oh my god, guys, sex, 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 sex. And chat goes, yeah, you would, you nasty 30-year-old cougar. You know, we're all way more into somebody half your age. and then they watch her like rage quit a little bit. That's more of the speed of the sex jokes in Hosho Marine's stream. She gets rage baited a lot. Her trying to force it to part of the charm. Yeah, I feel like it's like a desperation and a little bit of gap moe. Counter argument: your exchanges with Callow on Kenny's Twitter from around 2 years ago. I never commissioned a single one of those pieces. However, I will always appreciate artwork that other people make, fan art or commissioned otherwise. Sexual or not. I just won't retweet, like, sexual stuff to my main account. Doesn't she have a customer service background? She does, yes. Stuff beyond sexual is the key. If the only thing they've got is, haha, sex, chat, sex, right? It's so boring. Yeah. Hot take, Marine is say-so pretending to be lewd. Kinda? I don't know. I feel like she's like the gray area of a say-so lewd. Like, I don't think she's pretending, but I think her personality is so unsexy of a personality that it wraps back around. Marine's movie theater experiences really resonated with me as a 32-year-old man. I like Marine. Marine is someone to aspire to. Now, Marine actually is interesting because she is an example of her character art is one that
I love how Dizzy does it.
Oh.
The horniness is undercut by her being a pathetic sad girl.
Oh yeah, no, like Dizzy is not exactly Marine, but she's like closer to being an English version of Marine than a lot of other people out there. When there's a translator in Marine's chat, I've caught her talking about stuff she's lived through and what it's like to actually live in the Japanese countryside. Didn't she grow up like incredibly poor? Old FBI staff shedding a tear. That's her glowy. Skilled at replying to a question while skirting the actual point with something wholesome. Where are such skills in kids these days? Hey, get out of my webcam. Maybe it is true that all Phase gens have a failed Marine clone. I mean, the reason Phase Connect exists is because, like, Sakuna wanted to have a Marine. Like, that's common knowledge, isn't it? Ah! Lost control of my life, Midas. And now I'm eating a bowl of Sprite while eating a bowl of cereal after eating a whole box of pizza. That's okay. It's okay to be American. I forgive you. I love BB Biscuit. I love BB Biscuit. She is so cute. She is so cute. Very silly. I think she's my favorite of the new gen. In terms of what I watch. I don't know. I don't have a ton of people I necessarily dislike in Phase. I have people that I just don't watch, but, you know. Malice is entertaining. I haven't watched a ton of Malice. BB No Biscuit. Alright, mods, snip off this guy's toenails and shove them up his nostrils. He will have to breathe his clippings for the next 45 minutes. Mina has been a real dark horse of that gen. I had someone I disliked, but she graduated. Hey now, no controversy on this broadcast, okay? Only wholesome Chungus things. Like, fluoride is being used to make the people docile in chemtrails. Morale. Oh, hey, Tyga. Welcome on in. Like Nitty because she talks funny. Taiga, it's so funny because we were literally just talking about, like, how much I didn't like that blonde bimbo jock guy who tortures people earlier. Didn't you have a problem with him a while ago? Also, Yu, I'm seeing the bits. Thank you so much. Raiding Midas's kitchen. What you were just talking about, the worm. Yeah. If it's who I think it is, yeah. Nah, I've had personal, a very light exposure to him, and I'm glad that my exposure to him was light, because he's nasty. Regardless of, you know, who is in front of his path and mowed over, I feel bad for every person that's ever had to experience him. Nasty, nasty people, yeah. Waffle says, I respect Clara's sincerity, even if I disagree with her opinions. I can't hate her. All I can say is that I have an associate who Clara was their Oshi. And so I was watching some very fascinating things go down the whole time. I do not like Clara. Like, in regards to how she handles herself professionally. I think you can have whatever opinions you want. Straight up. Like, I think it is a free space to say what you want when you want. However, when you are tied professionally to a company and you understand the position that you are in socially, economically, uh, you are a representative of that company and that company's values. And if they happen to not coincide with your own, the professional thing to do is to not stir the pot on those things. There was no way that she joined on without knowing what kind of company Phase was. Like, you go through the hiring process, you meet the people. She probably looked at some of the content beforehand, right? Like, there was no way she was hired without knowledge of what she was getting into. So her acting out and misbehaving in such a way is very disingenuous and unprofessional. And really, this was going to be the only way it was going to end, especially because she never adjusted her attitude. And I feel very bad for her and her coworkers because she is very clearly immature and she was not suited for that environment. And when somebody is immature and not suited for an environment, everybody suffers. It doesn't matter if you disagree with the people in the company, right? Because there will always be people that disagree with each other, and points of view will change very genuinely. Like, she probably had people in the company that agreed with a lot of her points of view. That's probably why she stuck around, even though she was very immature about things. But her graduation hissy fit put things into perspective. And I hope that she grows from this. I hope for the best, and we all should take this as a lesson. We should all take what she's done as a lesson. Is there a tight line with staying in character and sharing personal opinions on the industry as a whole? Depends on the company. I would say the expectation is yes, but the reality is often a little more of a gray area. I would like to say that at my job, any and everything I say is the character's thoughts and feelings. And they may not necessarily ever reflect what I'm thinking at any given time. Because my job is to LARP, right? Like, I like to think that I actually pull off the kayfabe very succinctly. Here, there is no pretense of character acting. I don't know. It's a complex industry, and it's even more complex when you are given when you are given certain permission that other people may or may not have to discuss in no uncertain terms certain things. It's difficult. It's difficult because I can say some things, but I know where to toe the line, right? You need to have a certain amount of respect even for your enemies in this space, which sounds absurd because why would you want to respect the people that are actively trying to hurt you? And that's how it is in every industry. That's how it is in the business world. That is how to survive. That is, in general, just what you do, you know? Hell, you go through high school, you have to respect your teachers, even if they don't respect you. You go to your work, you have to respect your boss, even if he doesn't respect you. Sometimes you'll go to a job and you'll love your job because everybody is respectful and nice. Sometimes you go to a family gathering and somebody throws the casserole at you in the middle of dinner, right? Like, life is a game of min-maxing. It's a social political simulation. And I think it would befit everybody to keep that in mind. That you don't always have to be right, even if you know the other person is wrong. Save justice and save vindication for when it's over. That's my advice. You can only handle how you react to things. Exactly, Rand. Don't, let yourself get walked all over, but at the same time, you have to take a certain amount of shit. Because you're human, you know? Hey, Midas, how you doing this Friday? I'm doing all right, Vinny Shitwad. Oh, Shitward. Even more reason to respect someone if they're antagonistic. Given they are respectable. Just always remember that respect is not admiration or affection. I think that's a gray area for some people because people have lost the capability to tell the two things apart. Respect and it isn't the same as agreeing. Kind of like how following someone on Twitter doesn't mean you endorse their political ideologies. It just means that you want to see what they're doing. You're kind of stalking them. I think the onlineification of everybody's lives has really degraded people's social skills and their awareness and just the traditions of humanity. I don't know. We're in for a ride, guys. Keep yourself at heart. Remember that you're not the main character, but you are the most important person to yourself. Nice aesthetic. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I think VTuber pisses on others and then herself before eating a pineapple belongs to an area even the VLR girls would find a tad too much. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. Until you have kids, then they're more important. I think the most important thing in your life isn't even self-preservation. It's what responsibilities you have bestowed upon yourself, be it voluntarily or involuntarily. Like pet animals, you know? If you adopt a dog, that is one of the most important things you can do. If you have a child or you adopt a child or you have a sibling that is in your care, that is one of the most important things you can do if it is your responsibility to care for them. Because if somebody or something is dependent on you, it is no longer just you that suffers if you fail. Now, some people may say, well, what if I want to be selfish? And it's like, well, that's your prerogative. Oh, yeah. Sorry, the music died, lol. Anyway. I know it's under 2 hours, but I think I'm ready to kill stream broadcast. Oi, what's up? Hey, my love, Kage. Is this the just chatting section? I'm new around here. Am I allowed to ask what
I
you do?
appreciate your thoughts on these things, Midas, genuinely. Gives me stuff to think about.
I'm glad, Red Hair Cross. And Kitracula. Yes, this is, I think, the just chatting section, unless I screwed up something here. Yeah, no, ask anything you like, though I will be wrapping up pretty soon, and I'll be raiding into someone else. You almost made it? Feels like a good time to head off. Have a good night. Yeah, you too. Yeah, no, I am exhausted. I'm running myself a little bit ragged, and it's severely affecting my health. You guys know how I'm always sick? You guys know how I'm always, like, really sick? I think I may know the reason why. Anyway. Alright, I think today we're gonna get rid of the Twitch people first. Take care. Canada hate, yeah. Canada hate. First, we'll raid Twitch, and then we'll raid YouTube. Let's see, who's live right now? Why the fuck is somebody gyrating on Twitch front page? What is this? Oh, that's weird. What is Twitch becoming? Ugh. Yo! There's somebody playing Uma Musume? I don't know who this is, but we're raiding into them. We're raiding into the Uma Musume woman. Oh, Leaflet is like, well, I already grabbed somebody. You were too slow. And I, honestly, I'd rather raid somebody who's playing Uma Musume. Alright, sending the Twitchers. Alright. Alright, purple website. Bye in 5, 4, 3. Remember the raid message is about Midas, and go! Alright, and they're gone. Alright, YouTube, it's just me and you. I'm with the superior chat. Now it's just me and you and you and me, and who are we raiding today? We're not like those filthy purple websiters. Oh, hey, Pippa's live. That's true, it is Friday, so this means that I cross over with Pippa. I shall raid my Ushi. And get out of here! Give her some love! Give her an ouch Midas from me!